Welcome to Powerviz. In today's video, let's dive into the powerful and versatile Lollipop chart by Powerviz. This visual combines dots and lines to create a unique representation that's clear, impactful, and ideal for comparing categorical data. With advanced features like small multiples, error bars, IBCS templates, dynamic deviation, and much more, the Lollipop chart is perfect for anyone looking to elevate their data storytelling in Power BI. With the Lollipop chart, simplifying complex data sets and highlighting key trends for stakeholders is easier than ever. Whether you're working in HR, finance, marketing, or product analytics, this visual will elevate your Power BI reports. Let's get into the details and explore how to create impactful, data-driven insights using this advanced custom visual. Before I take you through each and every feature under the advanced settings, let me show you some of the charts that we have created using this visual. This visual has two different chart options, the vertical orientation and the horizontal orientation. We have different marker styles like we have circle, square, diamond, and triangle. You can also create different kind of charts here like a pie chart or a donut chart or a rose pie chart. Now instead of markers, you can also choose to have icons like we have used them here, or you can choose an image of your own. And the visual also offers three different line styles, the straight line, the dashed line, and the dotted line, with options to match the marker's color or choose a custom color of your own. You can also choose to disable line if you wish to. The visual offers 9 different color schemes with 30 plus palettes, including the colorblind safe palettes. With small multiples, you can split the visual into multiple versions of itself to visualize all categories with ease. When a chart has vastly different scales, it becomes challenging to interpret and analyze because the smaller values may be visually compressed, but no more in the Lollipop visual because we have a preview slider that will help you navigate through large data sets with a slider to preview different data sections seamlessly. We also have a race chart that will animate to display data changes over time. We also have fill patterns. You can choose them from the inbuilt patterns that we have or choose an image of your own. You can add reference lines or bands to highlight specific values or ranges in your chart. We also have the dynamic deviation that will help you compare changes in data over time or against a particular reference point. For example, you can compare from first point to the last point here or from the min to max. You also have a custom option that will let you choose the data point of your own to compare against. We also have the cut or clip axis, which will let you trim to focus on a specific range of data. You can look at these two different charts here before applying the cut and clip axis and after applying the cut and clip axis. And then we have error bars, which represent the variability or uncertainty in your data points. We also have ranking that will let you filter your top end categories or bottom end categories with also an option to display remaining as others. And then we have the conditional formatting, which will let you easily highlight marker, line, or label with rules based on category or value. And then when you have created your ultimate Lollipop visual, and if you would like to reuse the same theme in different reports, you can simply use the import export option to be able to reuse themes as well as share the JSON theme with others. You can also choose the professionally designed templates, IBCS templates, or custom templates to personalize your experience. We have annotations that allow you to add a comment on a specific marker, which will provide greater details into your data. So let's jump into Power BI. I'm going to show you how to add this visual to your Power BI report. Click on these 3 ellipses here and then select Get More Visuals. In the search bar, type in Lollipop, and this is the visual here, the Lollipop chart by Powerviz. Let's select that and then click on Add to add this particular visual to your Power BI report. And now let's click on Lollipop chart by Powerviz here and add this visual to our Power BI report. Let's start building this particular visual. And in the category section, I'm going to bring in the category here. And in the measure section, I'm going to bring in the sales field that I have into the measure section. And now our visual has been created. It is now displaying the categories on the x-axis, and on the y-axis, I have the sum of sales amount. Let's head over to the advanced settings to explore the different options that are available within this visual. First of all, under chart options, like I mentioned earlier, we have two different orientations, the vertical as well as horizontal. You can select horizontal here and click on apply. You will now have the visual appearing in horizontal orientation. Let's go back to the chart options. You have auto category width here. You can toggle this on off. And then we have connecting line. When you toggle this on, you have three different options to choose from. Let's choose the dashed line here, and then you can also control the width of the line here, and then also choose the color here of your choice. Let's select this blue, click on apply, and now we have a connecting line on our lollipop visual. Let's go back to chart options now. We have zero baseline. When you turn off the zero baseline and click on apply, we no longer have the line appearing on our zero baseline here. And then you can also turn this on. You can also control the width here. You can also change the color here of your choice. Click on apply, and now we have the baseline appearing slightly more thicker, and also the color has been changed of this particular baseline. Now let's head to the next section, which is marker. We have different types of markers that are available. We have shape as well as chart. Under shape, we have these four icons that are available. You can choose an icon or shape of your choice, click on apply, and now you have the marker shape changed. You can also control the size of the marker. Right now it is set to auto, but if you toggle this off, you can choose a size of your choice. We also have the marker outline here. You can control the width of that particular marker. In case if you don't want the same color as the marker, you can toggle this off and choose the color here of your choice. And now we have the outline appearing in red. If you don't want the marker to be filled with a particular color, you can also turn that off. You can simply select show outline only and then click on apply. We only have an outline appearing on the visual. So we looked at the marker type shape. We also have an option here where you can change this into a chart. To change this into a chart, it is asking us to enter the subcategory data to enable that. So let's quickly do that. I'm going to bring in the subcategory into the subcategory section. And now let's head back to the advanced settings and then click on marker. And now our chart option is enabled. You can choose different chart types here. Basically what this is doing is it is breaking up the oil and masala category into the subcategories. There are three different categories here under oil masala. There are two categories under bakery. That is what is being displayed here. You can choose the different styles that are available. If you want to change this into a pie, you can do that. Click on apply and now you have a pie chart. Likewise, if you want to change this into a roast pie, you can do that. Click on apply. You now have a roast pie here, and you also have various options here like the auto marker size. You can toggle this on if you would like to, or toggle this off and control the size manually. And then we also have the marker outline. You have the same color as marker, show outline, etc. So these were your default options. We also have the icons here. You can choose the icons here of your choice. Let's say, for example, if you want to display a star, or take a look at different options or shapes that are available here. Choose the shape of your choice. For example, I'm going to choose the star here and then click on apply. We now have stars being displayed here. Let's go back into the marker options. You also have an option here to control the size of these markers. And then the next option here under marker is images. You can add an image of your choice. It is basically telling us here to add images data into the image data field. So let's quickly do that. I'm going to scroll down here, head to the images data. I'm going to click on add data here. I have a field here that contains the link to the images. I'm going to quickly drag them here, image 64. And now you can see that the images option is enabled. From this drop down here, I'm going to select first image 64 and then click on apply. And now you can see that our images have started to appear on our visual. Now let's quickly go back here. Since they are appearing very small, I'm going to turn this off and then increase the size to, let's say, about 40 and then click on apply. And now we have bigger images appearing on our markers. And then the last option here is the upload option, where you'll be able to directly upload the image of your choice, but make sure that the image size is less than 500 KB. And now let's head to the next section here, which is line. We have different line styles that are available here. First of all, you can toggle the display line on or off. You will no longer see the display line here. If you toggle them on, you have three different options here. You have your straight line, dashed line, and dotted line, and then click on apply. We now have the dashed line appearing on our visual. You can also control the line width. You can also control the color or change the color of your choice. Click on apply, click on apply. We now have a different color appearing on our line. And now let's head to the next section here, which is colors. We have various color options here to choose from. We have single. You can apply your Power BI theme as well. We have gradient option here. You can choose the minimum, middle, maximum color here of your choice and then click on apply. We now have the gradient applied to this particular marker here. And then let's head back to colors here. And then we have by category. You can choose the color of your choice by category as well. We have sequential colors here. You can click on apply. And then we have sequential colors based on the values here being applied to the markers. Likewise, we have diverging color palettes, we have qualitative color palettes, and then positive and negative color palettes. If you have negative colors here, the markers If you have negative colors here, the markers will appear in red. Since we have all of them as positive here, the markers here are appearing in green. You can also change the color here of your choice. Let's head to the next section here, which is small multiples. To enable small multiples, you will have to add categorical data into the small multiples section. I'm going to bring in the region here into small multiples. And as you can see that our visual is now divided in 5 different categories here. I have another category down here at the bottom. And you can see that we will now be able to analyze the data by region. We have the West, East, South, and Central all broken down here by categories, giving deeper insights into the data. We have various features under small multiples to be customized based on your needs and requirements. First of all, we have the layout type. The grid is the default layout type here. And then the next option here under layout type is scale rows. Scale rows are basically scaled into varying heights based on the top performer among the rows. You can also change the number of columns that you want to display. For example, if I just want to display one column here and then click on apply, you now have the data here sorted by region. You have West at the top, and all the way at the bottom, we have the North region. And in this case, you also will be able to control the inner spacing and the outer spacing. For example, if I increase this to about 40 and click on apply, you can see that the spacing has now changed on this particular visual. And then the next option here that we have is rank panels. Rank panel basically are sized differently based on the rank values. When I select rank panel here, I have an option to display the number of columns that I want here. I can also control the inner spacing and outer spacing. Let me go back to 10 here and then click on apply. And now you can see that the size of these particular panels differ based on their ranking value. The next option in the small multiples is the style, where you'll be able to change your header, the font family, the styling, the text size, color, etc. Right now it says title and the total value that we see here, title and total value. But if you'd like to increase the size of that particular text, you can do so. You will also be able to control or change the color here of your choice. For example, if you want this dark blue, you can apply that, click on apply. You now have a slightly larger text appearing in blue here. Let's go back to style here. You will also be able to control the alignment of this text. Right now it is left aligned, but if you want them to appear at the center or at the right, or change the position of the text from top to bottom or bottom to top, you can do that. You also have the option to enable background here. You can choose, for example, alternate columns and change the alternate color here. Let's say, for example, you want to go ahead with slightly darker gray and then click on apply. You now have the darker shade of gray applied to the alternate small multiples here. Let's go back to style and toggle this off. Click on apply, and then let's go back to small multiples now. Under style, let's take a look at the other option, that is shadow, that is available here. You'll also be able to control the offset, whether you want the shadow to appear inside or outside, the position of the particular shadow, whether it is left, right, center, top right, etc. We have various options here. You'll also be able to add a border. You'll also be able to control the stroke style. We have 3 different options here, the width, etc., and then click on apply. We now have a border being applied to our visual. Now let's head to the next section here, which is axis. Let me get rid of the small multiples here, and in the x-axis here, I first of all have an option to either show x-axis or turn off the x-axis. And when I turn this off, you no longer see the x-axis here. So let's go back to axis and then turn this on. You have an option here where you want to display the axis. You can either choose at the top or at the bottom. When I click on top here, I have my axis appearing at the top, and the lines or the lollipop chart has now been inverted. Let's go back to axis here and let's change this to bottom, and then you have axis line here, and then click on apply. You have the axis line that can be controlled as well. You can change the color of the axis line as well. If you want an orange axis line, you can do that. We now have an orange axis line appearing on our visual. We also have an option here to add your title, the title name. You can select the font family, styling, etc. You can also change the color. The next option here is show label. You can toggle the show label off, click on apply. You no longer have the labels appearing on your x-axis, but if you would like to display them, you can toggle this on. You also have an option here to control the text size, the color of that particular label here, and then change the styling here of your choice, and then click on apply. We now have the text or labels here appearing in red and in bold. Likewise, we have all of these options available under y-axis as well. You can toggle them off. You can toggle the y-axis off here. You can choose the position of your y-axis. You'll also be able to choose the minimum range and maximum range here. Let's say, for example, in this case, let's go back to report here. Let's say, for example, in this case, you want to start this all the way from 1 million. You can choose that. You can simply go back to your y-axis here and type in the minimum range here. Change this to 1 million and then click on apply. You now have your range starting from 1 million. Likewise, you also have an option here to enter your maximum range. You can change the range here based on your preferences and needs. You also have an option here to enable logarithm scale and invert range as well. You have an axis line. You can control the axis line if you want to. You can change the color of the axis line as well. You'll also be able to turn off the title of your y-axis or change the title of your y-axis based on your needs. You can change the font family, styling, text size, color, etc. Like we saw the show label option for x-axis, we have the same thing available here for y-axis as well. You'll also be able to control the number formatting right from here. If you want decimal separator, if you want 1000 separator, or how many number of decimal places that you want to display, the scaling display here, whether you want to change this to thousands, millions, billions, etc. based on your data set. You can also add a prefix and suffix here of your choice. You also have an option here to enable customized scaling here. For example, for all the values that are appearing in thousands, you have ending with K. For million it is M, for billion it is B, right? Likewise, if you want to change this, for example, for all of the million values here, you want to display this as MIL, or you want to display this as million, and then you can click on apply, and now you have the customized scaling appearing on your y-axis. Now let's head to the next section, which is data labels. You can toggle the button off here if you don't want to display any labels here, but if you want to display them, you can toggle this on. You can choose the placement here of your choice, whether you want to display them inside or outside, and the display style, what are the values that you want to display. If you want to display all of the data labels here on the chart, you can simply select all, click on apply, and now you have all the labels appearing on the chart here. But in case if you just want to display first and last, or min and max, last only, max only, first, last, and then min and max, you can choose that and then click on apply. And now you have your first value, your last value being displayed here. This is your max value as well. And then you have your lowest value here, which is eggs, meat and fish category. That label is also being displayed here. You also have an option here to change the font family, the styling, font size, text color, etc. You will also be able to enable background here. And now let's head to the next section here, which is preview slider. I'm going to toggle this on, and then I can choose the number of lollipop count that I want to display. For example, let me change this to 5 and then click on apply. You can see that I now have 5 different subcategories appearing on the visual, along with a slider that is available here. You can also see the downtrend on these little lollipops that are being displayed here. And now you can scroll them towards the right and take a look at 5 categories at a time so that you get deeper insights into the data. Let's go back into the preview slider here. You have options here to control the default track, the color of the default track, and then you also have the option here to change the color of the selected track. For example, if I want this lighter shade of red here, I can click on apply, and now have the color changed of the selected track. Likewise, you also have an option here to change the track border here. For example, if you want black border here, click on apply. You now have a border being displayed here. Likewise, let's go back to the preview slider. I now have an option here to show axis labels. If I would like to click on apply, you now have the axis labels being displayed here. And then let's go back to the preview slider. You also have an option here to enable track auto height. You also have an option here to adjust the height here of your choice. The next option here is race chart. This option basically allows you to render chart based on the race keys by the given time interval. To enable race chart, you will have to add a categorical field into the race chart data section here. I'm going to bring in the city here into the race chart section here. Now let's go back to the race chart here. You have an option here whether you want to autoplay the button radius or not. You also have the option here to change the play button color here. If you want to change this to a different color, for example, let's choose this yellow, click on apply. We now have the yellow button being displayed here. Let's go back. You also have an option here to change the placement. If you want to display this at the top, you can do that. And then the interval and the duration. Let's change the interval to, let's say, about 2000, and let's change the duration to, let's say, about 3000 here, and then click on apply. And now when I play this, you can see that how the data is changing based on the cities. In case you want to change the interval between the cities, let me quickly increase this to, let's say, about 5000 and then click on apply. And now when I play this, you will notice the interval time between the cities has now increased. Let's quickly stop this. You also have an option here to change your text styles, whether you want to display the header and what is the font size that you want to display, the styling of the font, the label color, etc. And now let's head to the next section here, which is the reference line or band. You can add a line or a band. Let's quickly add a line, and then I'm going to click on add line. You have two different axes here to choose from, the x-axis or the y-axis based on where you want to display the line. And then choose the field here based on the subcategory field that I have here. How do you want to add the referencing line? You can either be by ranking or by value. Let's choose ranking here. From the start, let's say on the 5th rank, I would like to add a line here. I'm going to click on apply. And now you can see that we have added a line on the 5th rank here on my x-axis. If I want to add another line on my y-axis, I can do that from here based on my sum of sales, whether you want a fixed line or the average line, minimum line, the maximum line, medium line, etc. Let me choose the median line here and then click on apply. And now you can see that the median line is being applied on my visual. Let's quickly go back to edit here. And then we have different options here. Under line options, we have 3 different line styles here. We have the line width to control. We have the line color. You can also choose the placement if you want to display this at the front or behind. If I select behind and click on apply, you can see that we've now applied this at the back. And then let's go back here. Let's click on edit. And then you also have an option here to control the label styles here. The label type, you want to display text or value or text and value. You can select text and value, click on apply. We now have the text and value being displayed here. You'll also be able to change the text value here. You can enter the label name here of your choice. You can change the label color. You can enable background, change the font family, etc. You'll also be able to change the position, whether you want to display this at the top or at the bottom. You'll also be able to change the alignment in case if you want to display this at the left side of the visual here. You can do that when you click on apply. You now have the reference label aligned left. And now let's head to the next section here, which is band. I'm going to click on add new band here, and based on category on the x-axis, I'm going to add a band here. I'm going to choose the field here, which is subcategory. I can choose the different type here, whether it is based on ranking or by value. If it is by value, I'm going to choose the start value and the end value. Let's choose, for example, fresh fruits here. I'm going to select fresh fruits, and then my end value here, let's say I want to add this till rice. I'm going to choose rice here. Let's scroll down, choose rice. And then you also have an option here, the line options, how you want the background to appear, line styles, etc. I'm going to click on apply. I now have a banded line appearing on my visual. There are various style options available here as well. You can change the background, you can turn on the background or turn off the background. You can change the color. You can choose the different line styles that are available here, line width, line color, the placement of the band here as well, the label styles that we saw earlier in the line section as well. So these are the various styling options that are available under reference line or band. Now let's head to the next section here, which is error bars. Let's toggle this on, and then you have the position here, whether you want to display the error bars on both the positive and the negative side, or if you just want to display them on the positive side or on the negative side, you can do that from here. Let's choose both for now. And then choose the measure where you want to apply this particular error bar. In this case, it is sum of sales. And then based on whether it is by field, by percentage, or by value, you have various options here to choose from based on your requirements. For now, I'm going to choose by percentage. On my upper bound, I'm going to enter 5%. On my lower bound, let's say I want this as 10%. And then I have the error bar style here. I can match the line color or choose the color here of my choice. And then I have the marker type here, dash, the marker size, the marker color, etc. Let me change the border color here. Let me change this to red. Click on apply. And then when I click on apply, I now have the error bar being displayed on my visual, 5% at the top and 10% at the bottom. Let's go back to error bars here. Let's scroll down. You also have an option here to change the border color here. Let's say, for example, if you need a different color, or if you need an orange color, you can do that. Click on apply. You now have the color changed. Let's go back to error bars. The next option here is error band. Let's toggle this on. You have 3 different fill types here. You have fill, line, and fill and line. Let's quickly click on apply, and now you can see that our error band values have been filled here. You can either change this to appear as a line only or fill and line. You can choose the line style here as well. I'm going to click on apply. I now have only lines appearing on our error bars. And then you also have an option here to enable error labels here. You can choose the label format, whether it is absolute, relative numeric, or relative percentage. Let's choose absolute. You can change the font family, the styling, text size, show background, etc. and then click on apply. You now have the error labels as well being displayed on the visual. Now let's head to the next section here, which is dynamic deviation. The dynamic deviation basically helps you compare the two different data points. Let's toggle this on. You have various options here, inbuilt options here to choose from. We have first to last actual, last to first actual, min to max, etc. Let's choose min to max here. We have show start indicator checked on here and then click on apply. We now have the first to last being compared here. It is telling that from first to last, the positive value here is plus 584K. Let's go back to dynamic deviation here. You can choose the deviation type here. We have three different options here. You can also control the width. For positive color, we have green. For negative color, we have red. For example, if I change this to first to last and then click on apply, I now have the line appearing here in red. Let's go back to dynamic deviation. We also have the connector line here. You can choose the connector line, how you want them to display the line style, three different line styles here, the width, the color of the connector line here. This is the line that I'm talking about. You can change the color here. For example, if you want to change this to blue, you can select that, click on apply. You now have the connector line appearing in blue. Let's go back to dynamic deviation. Let's scroll down here. We have label styles here, how you want the values to be displayed, whether you want just the value, you want percentage or both. When I select both, click on apply. I now have the value as well as percentage being displayed here. Now let's head to the next section, which is cut or clip axis. Cut or clip axis basically helps you trim the y-axis here. Let's quickly enable this and see what happens. I'm going to start here at about 100K. Let me enter 100K here. And I want to end this at about 300K, and I have a marker line color here. Let me change this to red and then click on apply. And now you can notice that I have clipped my axis from 100 to 300K. That particular axis is no longer appearing on our visual. Now let's head to the next section here, which is fill pattern. Let me toggle this on, and then you have an option here to choose the fill pattern based on the category. For example, for health and drinks, I want to display heart here and then click on apply. And now the fill pattern has changed to heart here. Likewise for noodles, if I want a different fill pattern here, I can choose that from here. For noodles, this has been changed. Let's go back here. And then we also have an option here to upload the pattern image of your choice. Now let's head to the next section here, which is ranking. The ranking here can be done based on top or bottom, and let's change this to, let's say, about 10 and then click on apply. I now have top 10 categories being displayed here. Likewise, I can also choose to display bottom n categories. Now these are my bottom 10 categories in my data set. And then if I want to group the remaining as others, I can do that as well. Simply toggle this on and I can add a suffix here, others plus category name or others plus count, or if you want to add both. Let's quickly select both and change the method here to sum or average based on your requirements and then click on apply. And now I have another category here called others subcategory, and there are 13 categories under this, and that has been added to our visual. And then let's head to the next section here, which is sorting. I can sort the visual here either by category or by the sum of sales amount. Let's choose category here. You can choose ascending or descending. Click on apply. I now have my visual sorted based on the category. The next option here is conditional formatting. You can add a new rule here. You can apply the conditional rule to the marker, to the line, or to the label as well. Or you can choose where you want to apply the conditional formatting. You can simply check this box out or check this box in to apply the conditional formatting to marker, line, or labels. You can enter the rule name here based on value. Let's say, for example, by ranking. You also have an option here by percentage. Let's choose ranking here, apply this rule here to top 5 categories, and I want the color here to be, let's say, for example, this dark shade of blue. Click on apply, click on save. I now have the conditional formatting applied to the line, the connecting line, the marker, etc. If you want to just apply the conditional formatting to marker only, I'm going to go back to the edit here, and then I'm going to turn off line labels, click on save, and now my conditional formatting is applied only to the markers here and not to the lines. The next option here is grid lines. You can enable grid lines here on your x-axis or your y-axis. By default, the y-axis lines are enabled here. You can change the line style here. You can change the border here of the grid lines as well. You can change the color as well if you want them to be orange, and then click on apply. You now have orange dotted lines appearing on your visual as a grid line. The next option here is import export. Let's say, for example, you've gone through all of these vast features that are available. You've created your ultimate unit lollipop chart, and now you want to save them as a JSON file and then reuse them in various reports, because if you have to again go and format in your new report, it's going to take a lot of time. So you have the import export option here, and now you can simply click on this export button here, click on download, and this will download a JSON file for you, which you can again re-import into your new Power BI file and apply the same kind of formatting to your new Power BI report. The next section here is the templates section. I have general and IBCS templates here. Let's enable the general template here, and these are the professionally designed templates that are available here for you to choose from. You can choose these templates based on your needs and requirements. Let's say, for example, if you like this, I'm going to click on apply, and now my template has been automatically applied to this particular visual. And likewise, I also have the IBCS options here. When I toggle them on, you'll be able to see the different IBCS styles that are available for you to quickly apply to your visual. And then we also have an option here to add annotations. When you click on annotations here, you have an option to either create or hide. Let's click on create here. Let's say, for example, you want to add a comment here on the eggs, meat and fish category because the sales are really low. You can enter the reason why the sales have been low. For example, I'm just going to enter this is a test comment here, and then you can choose different connectors here. You can choose a different badge, you can change the colors, the font styling, etc. And then you can also enter the measure here, for example the sum of profit, etc. And then click on apply, and now you have the annotation visible here. You can choose where you want to display the annotation. You can hover over them and see what that particular comment is. And then the next option here is to change this to grid view. You'll be able to see the data in a tabular format. You'll also be able to add a filter here. For example, if you just want to take a look at some of the categories here, you can simply add the filter right from here, and also add a filter here on the profit as well. There are various comparison operators available here for you to choose and filter your data based on your requirements. Last but not the least, there are some options available here under the format section as well. You can add a legend here from this particular section, and then you also have the number formatting here. You can add a decimal separator, the thousand separator, decimal places, scaling display here, the prefix and suffix of your choice. If you want customized scaling, you can enable that from here as well. You will also be able to add a footer here. You can simply toggle this on. You can add a footer here. For example, you can add any kind of text, a web URL, you can change the text color, text size, etc. So with this, we've come towards the end of this tutorial. Thank you for joining me on this walkthrough of the Lollipop chart by Powerviz. I hope you found value in seeing the potential of this versatile visual to simplify complex data and enhance your Power BI dashboards. Remember, with features like ranking, conditional formatting, reference lines, and more, the possibilities for customization are endless. Download the visual from the Appsource and test it out, and let us know in the comment section how you plan to use this particular visual in your Power BI reports. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.